Welcome to the Dawg Chug. Roger, Ross, how the hell are you guys doing?
Mediocre at best.
Roger?
I'm doing well, Andy. Doing well. We're all going through the same thing. You guys were sick at your house. Ross is going through it with his little one. With Otto was it? We got it here. My wife was sick, and it's going around, man. But we all made it tonight. So.
Are you suggesting there's life outside of sports, Roger? How dare you?
I try to be helpful around the house, and I'm no help. Let's be honest. I'm no help. I make a bigger mess, and I just make things worse, even when I try to help. So.
That's why you should just lay on the couch and watch Guardians baseball all day long.
Man, yeah. Can you imagine? That's got to be the life.
Well, it was probably not the best week of the Browns, but that's okay. They can't win every game, right? But we're here. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna try and cheer everyone up, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what we're all about here, man.
You know how we're gonna do that? We're gonna start by updating everyone on what's going on in Cleveland sports and the sports world. The Dawg Chug updates.
All right.
Yeah.
Not created the PowerPoint. It's been a rough time. Anyway, Ross, why don't you get it started? Let's update our fans.
All right. After losing to the Titans 10-17, Russell Wilson is officially struggling. 9 games in, his team has managed to score 20 points just twice. When asked about it, Russell Wilson started with, "First of all, I have to play better." Before he finished his quote, Kevin Stefanski had kicked down Andrew Berry's door and demanded he trade for Wilson, who is Stefanski's words, "Gets it." Let's ride.
I mean, if a football player says, "I have to play better," Kevin Stefanski's like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah.
All right. Well, Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson recently purchased a home on the east side of Cleveland, and no comments if he found his mansion with the mansions. The home features a fitness center, theater, pool, volleyball, and tennis courts, but he reportedly wasn't sold during his initial showing of the home, believing it was a little overpriced and outdated. But it wasn't until he learned it was nestled deep into the woods where pesky neighbors couldn't hear women's screams. It has a panic room to hide in when the police show up, and, this is really cool, a dock that takes you from the backyard 25 miles into Lake Erie to a private massage room that is technically in international waters. When he heard all about this, he submitted a full price offer with appraisal guarantee and agreed not to do inspections.
Sounds like you have a little bit of insight on how these contracts work, Andy.
Yeah, it's amazing. John Harbaugh was asked about facing Baker Mayfield this week, who is getting the start over injured phenom P.J. Walker. Harbaugh said, "We know what Baker is capable of," and then boarded the team plane that was headed to an all-inclusive resort where the team would enjoy a 4-day vacation where drinks and hookers were comped. He just asked that the players try to be conscious by Sunday afternoon, but if a few of them weren't, it'd be fine anyway.
All right, so let's
worry about Baker Mayfield.
This is exciting. We're going to bring on Dawg Chug contributor. Jeez. Jess, welcome to the Dawg Chug. You have prepared top 10.
I did. And I have to tell you, I'm kind of fed up of everyone talking about how Joe Woods is getting canned and he's going to go work at McDonald's, all that stuff. And I was just tired of hearing about it. So I went to a source and actually got his real backup plans should he get canned from the Browns.
Sure. All right.
Luckily, there were 10 of them. So it's convenient.
Works out nice.
Definitely. Number 10, answering the age-old question, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
All right.
Number 9, master sommelier at Giant Eagle. Because they've got a big wine selection. So they're looking for a new position there.
We'd be good at that.
Number 8, starting his own vinyl vehicle wrapping business. But between us, I don't think it would work well with all the coverage issues in the secondary. So I think he'd find a different job.
Oh, yeah.
Number 7, Number 7, creating a mariachi band with Hugh Jackson and Freddie Kitchens and touring the lower 48 counties of Ohio.
Wow. I would not pay to see that, but I would pay to send a cameo to some of my friends.
Margarita Mondays and Taco Tuesdays. That's all I need.
That's right. That's right. Number 6, Google review specialist, starting at the businesses in his neighborhood and then just branching out from there.
Okay.
All right.
Side hustle.
Yep, that's right. Number 5, working at the Tower City holiday gift wrapping table.
Ooh,
I'm sure they've got one, so
Not a bad gig.
great.
not bad. Not bad gig. They give tips from what I understand. You're a good gift wrapper.
Nice.
Number 4, he's thinking about applying to the art department at Tri-C to be a nude model. So,
Wow.
Try see, huh?
Tri-C, yeah. I had to dust off all my old Ohio knowledge to think of things that people in Ohio would think was funny. My husband was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm like, "Never mind. People will get it on this show."
We have a big Tri-C audience.
You do. Art department at that. The art department is always watching the Dawg Chug. That's what I've heard. Number 3, Dawg Chug producer. So looking for that as an option.
Oh,
We'd love to have you.
Whoa.
Definitely. Number 2, I was kind of surprised by this one, but it's headlining WrestleMania 39 as DC Woods in a fatal 4-way with Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and AJ Styles.
Wow.
So that's his.
I do appreciate
hey,
that.
celebrity guests have been pretty solid lately.
And they have been. So, I mean, he had to come up with his own wrestler name. So, good. And the number 1 backup plan for Joe Woods is motivational speaker. Because clearly he has the defense all fired up. And who am I kidding? He'll be living in a van down by the Cuyahoga River.
Oh. Yeah.
Those are Joe Woods' backup plans for when he gets canned from the Browns.
Wow.
Nice.
Good job, Jessica. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for.
Your check is coming in the mail.
Yes.
Awesome.
The opening for the Dawg Chug top 10 has been filled. We not
As long as
getting
it
that
fits
job.
better than the gift wrap table at Tower City, I'm good. So,
Nice.
we got that.
All right.
Well done.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Cut her off.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna need any of those gigs though, because he'll continue getting paid by the Browns. It's one of our traditions.
Haslam loves doing that.
All right, let's continue with our updates.
All right.
Russ.
Buffalo is expected to be slammed with up to 6 feet of snow this weekend. I know what you all are thinking. Cleveland's luck, right? In the midst of a perfect season, Mother Nature is ready to fuck us over again. God bless us.
Hate when that happens. Everything was going so perfect. The Cleveland Browns are chirping this week that they're confident they can rattle Josh Allen on Sunday. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he's shaking in his boots knowing that whatever situation he's under, all he has to do is hand the ball off for an automatic 17 yards.
Tito Francona was named manager of the year, his 3rd time winning the award. Coach Stefanski sent him a note that said, "Congrats, but a little advice. Stay focused and don't let this accolade go to your head." Tito sent him a note back that said, "Thanks, but I'm actually qualified to do my job. Let me give you a little advice back. Stop saying get better every 3 seconds. It shows your lack of IQ. Show some fucking emotion out there. It's a passionate game, and you look like a bigger robot than that awkward dude on the Dawg Chug. And for Christ's sakes, put on 40 pounds this offseason. Players don't trust a coach at this level in better shape than they are."
Wow. Tito just gets it. That's awesome. All right. Now that we've kind of merged into some Guardians news, let's bring on Dawg Chug contributor Chuck back onto the Dawg Chug, who's going to talk a little bit about what the Guardians have been up to recently. Welcome to the Dawg Chug, Chuck.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Chuck,
Good. How you doing, Chuck?
go Guards, baby.
Yeah, it was a busy day last night. It was a 40-man roster, Rule 5 protection day. So
We know a little bit about Rule 5, but we
Yeah.
clearly don't understand it. Our audience doesn't understand
right.
it.
Yeah.
So basically, When there's a Rule 5 draft every year, and if you're not placed on the, and if you're a prospect that is not placed on a 40-man roster, you are eligible for the Rule 5 draft, and you can be lost basically for $100,000, right? So if the Guardians have a top prospect, and we don't protect them for the Rule 5 draft, they can be taken by any of the teams in the major leagues. So yesterday was the deadline to protect those prospects. So it was and so there's a little bit of shuffling around. There's a few trades made that shocked me.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So if a player gets stolen to another team, does he have to stay on their roster, or
He needs to be on the. So if a player is selected in the Rule 5 draft, he needs to be on the major league roster, I believe, for the whole year. The whole year.
Yeah.
The active 26-man roster.
Yeah.
Barring injury or barring anything else like that.
or he would revert back to us?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Sorry to interrupt your flow.
So actually, Trevor Steffen, our setup man, our high leverage reliever, who was a Rule 5 draft pick from the Yankees organization, and it turned out great. So yeah, he was on the major league rosters the entire year. He wasn't sent down to the minors once the entire season. He was on our roster in his first season. Last year was his second season, and he was tremendous for our team.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So I know the guy that I heard we traded was Nolan Jones, which is a guy that we've actually heard of because I think he was one of our top prospects. What happened with him?
So it was so weird. So last night, the deadline is at 6:00 to set your 40-man roster. We don't hear anything until 6:30. So I'm like shitting my pants. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm DMing everybody I can to figure out what's happening. And we get a tweet from a Guardians beat writer that everybody got protected, including the guy that wasn't in our system that we had traded for, that nobody knew where he came from. It just said that he was added to our 40-man roster. Then I get home from work. I'm walking in a grocery store, and I get an alert that Nolan Jones has been traded to the Rockies for middle infielder Juan Brito. Juan Brito is a middle infielder, switch hitter, compact swing, nice hit tool. Got a 55 hit tool. So he's basically what the Guardians are looking for. Contact the ball, contact the baseball. That's really who we've become, putting the ball in play. His pop is a little sneaky. He has a little in-game pop, but he's only 20 years old, so hoping the pop will get bigger. He's not the most athletic guy, so if we're probably looking at second base, probably can't really go to third, and probably doesn't stick it short. So really a standalone second baseman. But I was shocked because Nolan Jones, he was the top prospect for Roger. I think for 2 years he was the top prospect.
Yeah.
So I was actually walking in a grocery and I got that alert. I dropped my groceries on the floor actually.
Classic Chuck.
No, because I was so stunned. Because I think I had, it wasn't eggs, it was something, I don't know what I dropped, but it was pretty impactful when I dropped it, and to the point where I had to buy it again. And I stayed in the store for like 35 minutes. My wife texts me, where are you? And I'm like, the Guardians just traded Nolan Jones. And she responded, OMG, when are you coming home? That was her response. But yeah, I couldn't. The writing maybe was on the wall when he wasn't put on the playoff roster, and we had Ernie Clement in there as a September call up, and he wasn't playing at first base. It was weird that he wasn't at all on the 26-man active roster in September, and they didn't try him out at first base when there clearly was an opening there. So maybe the writing was on the wall. Maybe we should have seen it coming. I've been doing research on Juan Brito all day. he was the 30th ranked prospect for MajorLeague.com, the 18th ranked prospect for Fangraphs. So he's really a lottery ticket because he's going to be 2 years away. But Roger and Andy and Ross, what's crazy is that our 40-man roster has, I think, 10 infielders. Gabriel Arias, Jose Tena, Ahmed Rosario, Tyler Friedman, Andres Jimenez. It goes on and on and on. So what I'm thinking is there's going to be a big trade coming within the next few weeks. Probably around the winter meetings time. We're probably going to lay low for the next 2 weeks. And then I think the first week of December 4th is where, and like this through December 7th is the winter meetings. That's where we're going to see something big. We're probably going to. My dream is Sean Murphy out of Oakland. We need a catcher who can hit, but pivot may be Jansen in Toronto. So that we'll see how that plays out. Another trade that was made, Carlos Vargas was traded. A little sad for me. I wanted to see him pitch on the major league level, but we didn't get to have him. I remember in a 15-inning game, he was in the bullpen, and we just never got to see him. I remember tweeting out, "We have earned the right to see Carlos Vargas pitch in this game." They never pitched him. So yeah, that was my day last night. Twitter was a madhouse last night. All of us were going nuts. I definitely was losing my shit.
I have a couple questions.
Sure, fire away.
So we get rid of Nolan Jones because we couldn't add him to our 40-man roster?
No, so Nolan Jones was on the 40-man roster already.
So
he was traded because he just wasn't a good fit.
So it had nothing to do with that we
had
were
nothing to do with the 40-man roster because Juan Brito is on our 40-man roster right now. And he's not, and guys, he's 2 years away. Roger, he's like 20, he's 20 years old, only played in low A. He's probably at least 2 years away. So he's basically a lottery ticket, but it's basically what the Guardians are going away from. Nolan Jones, a lot of swing and miss, a lot of pop, a lot of strikeouts. And Juan Brito is, he's from that Stephen Kwan mold of contact the ball skills, strike zone discipline, and putting the ball in play. So that's pretty much an organizational view of what we're trying to do is putting the ball in play and loading up as many prospects as we can.
What was Nolan Jones like? What prospect was he in our system?
So I believe after his major league debut, he went all the way down to 8.
Okay.
I could be wrong, and that could be
a lot of favor. Just didn't think he was.
I am just gonna be heartbroken when I see him hitting nukes in Coors Field. It's gonna just break my heart. That's what I tweeted last night. I'm gonna be devastated when Nolan Jones is launching balls. Out of
you were in the grocery store for 35 minutes because you were stunned. Were you just standing like staring at your phone, or were you like getting more?
I thought it was like a bad tweet. I didn't think it was true. And then I was getting anxiety.
Were you ready for Ashton Kutcher to jump out and tell you've been punked? This is all.
I was getting like chest discomfort. I was getting like anxiety. So I completely dropped my grocery bag and it was full of stuff. And I just went on my phone for like 25 minutes in the middle of a grocery aisle. And I was supposed to be home in my apartment already, bringing home dinner. And I completely shut down. I was froze because I couldn't believe he traded Nolan Jones. Maybe I'm overreacting. It's just that he was the top prospect. I love prospects because we're a small market guys. We love prospects.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite parts of baseball is following a prospect throughout all of his career and watching him get drafted, and then watching him in the major league level. There's nothing like it. And Nolan Jones was one of those guys. He's been in the system 7 years, and we heard so much about him. We got a bit of a taste. I remember he hit a bomb in his debut series versus Kansas City. I remember this year, and it was, and it was, yeah, it was. I'm just sad. I just felt like we didn't get to see him. We heard so much about him. We didn't get to see him on the Guardians as much as I wanted.
There wasn't room for him, and if they're trying to do X and he does Y, then
yeah.
Let me ask you another question, real quick. You said maybe we should trade for a catcher. That would be like your dream. What about Bo Naylor?
So I've been stuck on this take for a long time. It is a lot to ask of a 23-year-old catcher to go ahead and be the number one catcher on a major league and man a major league staff for a whole season, the middle of a pennant race, in your first season in the major leagues. It's very hard to do. I don't think it's too much to put on his plate in his first year. I say you trade for Sean Murphy.
Sorry. Excuse me. I just dropped my groceries because this news stunned me that you don't think Bo Naylor is going to be good on the team.
I didn't say it's not going to be good.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna need 35 minutes. You carry on.
I didn't say.
No faith in him. He has no faith.
No.
I think he's going to be great. I just don't want to rush him. I've said that on my podcast a lot. I don't want him to be rushed. I want his timeline to be organic. I don't want to just throw him out there.
Trust is what I go by.
I don't want to throw him out there opening day, catch 135 games in the middle of a pennant race in your first season in the big leagues, catching Shane Bieber, catching Tristan McKenzie every fifth day. It's a lot to ask of a rookie catcher.
I understand that, but this is a pro Bo Naylor podcast, so
I love Bo Naylor. He's going to be tremendous.
Do you? You're advocating replacing him.
I do. I want him to learn the ropes from a veteran catcher.
I'm just messing with you. Where can we find you? Your podcast you're going to be on with.
So our podcast is called At the Corner. My Twitter, At the Corner podcast. My Twitter handle is. So I made a mistake. So when I first created Twitter, my Twitter handle, I thought the display name Chuck22 is the Twitter handle, not Chuck898988, whatever it is. Like when you. So I thought Chuck22 was the Twitter handle. I didn't know that my actual handle would be all those numbers after the Chuck. So yeah, so you can just search Chuck22. That's where you'll find me probably.
Nice.
22. And when is your next podcast? Because I know you guys.
We're doing one on Sunday. I spoke to Zach today. It was the first time we spoke in a while. I'm trying. I'm big on getting guests for the off season especially. So we're hoping to have a guest talk baseball with us.
Where was Zach when he heard the crazy news that Nolan Jones been traded in? Did he drop his groceries?
He was at home. So I called him driving home in my car to talk about. Oh yeah. Another thing I wanted to say here, guys. There were some prospects added. There were 3. Joey Cantillo, the prospect. He was one of the key pieces in the Mike Clevenger trade. We traded in the 2020 season. Big boy lefty, fastball changeup coming out of the rotation. 6'4" lefty out of Hawaii. I really like him. He has trouble staying healthy, but a nice plus changeup in his fastball up to 95 looks really good. Angel Martinez switch hitting, Dominican infielder, and he looks great. He's really could be one of the best infield prospects we have.
Wow.
So and my guy Timmy Herron, big boy lefty out of the bullpen, which we needed. We only had Sam Hedges was only really left-handed option out of the bullpen. Timmy Herron, his velocity has gotten all the way up to 98, touching 99 for a lefty. That's very rare. He has a nice sweeping slider and a nice cutter coming out of the bullpen as well. So hopefully a nice 3-pitch mix will come out as well. And I was very happy we added him. I was on him the whole year.
Some talent. I love it. It's going to be very exciting. How many days till the season starts?
So, and by the way, guys, so I'm probably gonna be back on here in a few weeks because there will be a trade made, and we're gonna have to talk about the trade when it happens because it just doesn't make sense. There's so many middle infielders on the 40-man roster. There has to be a trade.
I hope when the trade happens, you're not driving your car. I'm worried what would happen in that instance, but I can't wait to hear all about it.
My favorite driving the car moment during a Guardians game was I had a family member in the hospital, so I had to I was watching the game in the waiting room, so I was driving. Then I had to drive home, and we're in extra innings, and I had to bring something to my in-laws' house, right? So I'm watching the game, and I'm driving watching the game. And we blew in the ninth inning, and I totally pulled over. And I'm like running like an hour late to my in-laws, and I totally pulled over to watch like the 9th and 10th inning on the shoulder. Yeah,
right.
That's what I remember. But But yesterday gave me some heart palpitations, that's for sure.
Wow. All right. Well, Chuck, thank you for updating us all on the minor moves that the Guardians made. It's super exciting, and I hope your groceries are okay.
Yeah, so you said it well. It really is like a minor move, but like nothing's minor with me. I get nuts, you know.
Yeah, he gets nuts. It's Chuck. Let's go one more time. There's Chuck. All right. Well, anyway, it was, thank you for joining us. I think we have, let's see, 134 days till the season begins.
I'm dying, guys. I need him badly. I'm dying, man.
Hey, Chuck, I just want when earlier you said you got on the phone, like when you heard the Jones news and you DM'd all your baseball insiders. I just want to let you know I probably was in a bad spot. I didn't get the DMs. I wasn't included in those. So probably me. It's probably me. I wasn't in a good.
No,
I love you. I'm just busting your chin.
I get nuts. I get very antsy. I DM whoever I can.
How about Tito?
Yeah, I try really hard. It's really for the podcast, not to get guests. So I DM a lot, but especially for Guardians.
We gotta move
so
it
next
along.
time you're in the grocery store, make sure it's during our show.
Thank you. We got to maybe that live show one day. We'll do a live game one day maybe.
Hell yeah, looking forward to it. All right, well, thank you, Chuck.
All right, love you guys. Have a fun show.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, buddy.
Go Guards. Wow.
Guardians news.
Man, Chuck's on fire, man. I love Chuck.
You're the guard, Chug.
I like his reaction to trading Nolan Jones was more intense than when we, traded for Deshaun Watson.
Or it's like just like in his Andrew Miller. It was like on the same level. Like when we got Andrew Miller, Chuck was probably just equally as distraught as losing Nolan Jones. He was happy to getting Andrew Miller. You know what I mean? He takes it so much to heart, man.
I don't know about that because didn't we traded a big prospect? He probably hated it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He just like was distraught.
I bring him on to answer that question, but he'll probably go on for 20 more minutes and then we're gonna run out of time.
He was in the grocery store. He's probably by the canned soup, and some old lady's getting some Mrs. Grass, and he's like, "Nolan Jones, lady, they traded Nolan Jones."
We're gonna bring him on just for 30 seconds. Chuck, you got 30 seconds to answer this question because I'm interested. But I think we traded the outfielder. What was his name? Chuck, just come on really quickly. If you dropped groceries in a store, I want to know about that. But did you approve of when we traded for Andrew Miller, or did you not? Here we go.
Okay, so what's the formal question?
Did you approve when we traded for Andrew Miller?
Yes, I remember the exact moment where I was. I was so happy.
18 seconds.
I think I was with my wife. We weren't married at the time.
12 seconds.
And I remember we were walking. 5, I don't know where we were. We were 4, in Starbucks, I think.
3,
and we're placing
2,
our order.
1. All right, tune in next week. The conclusion of
nail
that
biter
story. Sorry, Chuck.
You can't put Chuck on a clock. He's like baseball itself. There's no time limit. It's over when it's over with Chuck, man. Just like baseball.
He's gonna hate the shot clock that we have in the pitchers have. Well, anyway, we'll get to the bottom of that story pretty quick. We'll do another 40-minute segment. Anyway, I think we've
him, man.
We told our guests that we'd bring them on about 20 minutes. We're running a little late, but that's how we go in the Dawg Chug. So we're gonna bring on our great guest. He is part of Network 216.
Yes.
You all know him on Twitter, the great King Edward. What's up, Eddie?
King Edward.
Welcome to the Dawg Chug.
I'm glad to be here. It's been a long time coming, and finally the schedule's worked out. And I hope we can do it again. I'm going to enjoy this while we're here now.
Where were you when you heard the crazy Nolan Jones news? And describe the chaos.
I'm not a Guardians fan, so I don't know shit about what's happening with the Guardians. Like, I'm a Red Sox fan, so where I was last night when Nolan Jones was traded, I don't know. I was probably at the bar watching.
Guardians fans have the same reaction.
I love Chuck. Chuck's got the Guardians, but I have no idea who the hell that was. Who the hell Nolan?
There's a lot of Cleveland Guardians fans that don't know who the hell Nolan Jones was either. But Chuck's on top of it, man.
He is on top of
I
it.
go to Chuck.
I was probably in like a Taco Bell drive-through. I wasn't in a grocery store. I'm not as classy as Chuck.
He's just a fountain of baseball information, man.
He knows it all.
Jesus.
Okay. What are you drinking there?
Yeah, what do you got?
Hashtag it's Miller time.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Twins.
Good choice.
Hey,
I'm drinking Coors. I like the light beer. Roger, of course, is drinking.
no, I'm still doing my 12.
I'm not going to beer shame on the Dawg Chug. I watched you chug a mixture of like 7 different liquors, and not that I didn't respect you before. I gained every ounce of respect and then some for you that night. I was like, you're a better man than me because I'm never doing that.
Oof, yeah, you can't. Nobody can match Andy. I'm doing my 12 days, 12 beers of Christmas still, and I got the Mad Elf tonight, man. 11% alcohol.
Woo.
Yeah, man, it's really good. It's got a little cherry taste to it.
You're
Yeah,
gonna get drunk. You're gonna get drunk sipping. That's crazy.
I'm gonna get accidentally drunk again tonight just sipping. Yes.
Should I do 4 of those? 11%, 4 of those. That's pretty good.
Yeah, you should do 4 of these, Andy. I'm all for it.
Maybe we're coming up with a new jug. We'll see. That's like 10.
Hey, these are tasty. You'll like it. They go down smooth, man.
Oh,
They do go down smooth. That's dangerous.
I got
dangerous
some
beer.
ideas. I'll send you some messages, Andy. I got an idea.
Hey, we talked about earlier on the Petty Eddie podcast / Faithful Dogs podcast. We're trying to do a Christmas show. Maybe we'll all just chug that and then see what happens and go from there.
We're gonna decorate the 216 Christmas tree.
Yes.
You know what we should do is we should have you ever get. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember the Jerry Lewis telethons. We should have a podcast-a-thon to get subscriptions for the YouTube channel and go like 24 hours with all the personalities on 216 and just get as many subscriptions, give away stuff to people to subscribe, and we can have a podcast-a-thon like old Jerry Lewis style, man. What do you think about that? You got enough beer for that? I think we can make it happen.
We can make that happen, I'm sure. Maybe not 24 hours, maybe like 2 hours.
Let's go live, man.
Is there going to be a Network 216 Christmas party? Holiday
I don't know about not necessarily like a party, like a live party with all of us because we're all different places, but we definitely talked about doing a Christmas show. We talked about that tonight too. So we're gonna try and get that going. So a Christmas show, maybe like where all of us are there. Representatives from all the different shows. The 40 different shows we have.
Ross has a new basement, so anyone in Cleveland should head to Ross.
Just go to Ross's house. You know what? We did a Thanksgiving.
I'm in my old one right now, but yes.
We did a Thanksgiving Eve show last year, and we're off this year. Actually, we're not going to be on air next week because we're going to do something different over the weekend. But I was so Thanksgiving Day was a waste for me, man. I was done. We were with Nick. Barking Browns was there. Mac showed up. How many people showed? A lot of people, man. We just had an open stream, and we had a blast, man. We got to do it this year for Christmas for 216. Pick a Saturday night and just all get together, man, and have an open show.
Let me know. I'm there.
Yep.
So, Eddie, tell us a little bit about your podcast. Yeah. And just Network 216, your slice of it.
So the Petty Eddie podcast, I've been doing that for 3 years now, 3 or 4 years maybe. I took a break for a while. It just wasn't fun for me. Podcasting just was like, I don't want to do this. It sucks. I don't care about this. One cool thing is for wrestling fans, I had Rob Van Dam as one of my guests at one point.
Oh, sweet.
Super cool dude. I just
RVD.
That's right. I hit him up on Twitter one night and was just like, "Hey man, would you want to come on the podcast?" He's like, "DM me, bro." And he had followed me for a while randomly, like for a couple years before that. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I DM'd him. I was like, "Hey, would you want to come on the show? When are you free?" And he's like, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I was like, "I'm talking to you. Let's go." So I almost messed it up. So I had my computer open with Twitter, and I was waiting for him to DM me his availability, like when he was available and whatnot. And I almost messed it up because it came on the computer. It didn't come to my phone. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, where is he? What the hell? And then it's like 15 minutes past and he's like, hey man, if we're not going to do this, let me know. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry. Like I had computer problem. I made something up, but we talked. That's my pinned tweet on Twitter at KingOrder15. The name, the Petty Eddie podcast, comes from I was doing a show for My Mind on Sports. There's a radio show that they do on Bliss FM and local stations down in DC where I used to write out of. And I would come on in the show and I would just be petty and be blunt about things. And they're like, you know what? The Petty Eddie segment. So it was the Petty Eddie segment. And then I turned it into my podcast. And now I do it every week, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Network 216 YouTube feed. I heard you guys say earlier, check them out. Check us all out, actually. Check us all out because we do a lot of like giveaways when we can. And we do, and Jacob
smash subscribe down below.
Yes, do the subscribe because Jacob Roach, God bless him, he puts himself through hell with all these hot sauce challenges and one chip challenges. Not for me. God bless him because I can't do that. But yeah, check us all out. A lot of fun. Earlier tonight, we did the Petty Eddie podcast / Faithful Dogs podcast mashup. Schedule was just aligned that way. And Zach's like, hey, do you want to move up a slot? And I was like, hey, let's just do the mashup. He's like, all right, cool. So just me and him. You can check that out on YouTube. Yeah, so Network 216 is awesome. There's a lot of cool people. You guys, I've loved your show for a while. I've seen it from afar. Don't get to tune in every week like I want to, but I've seen it from afar. I'm like, man, that's like different. It's like what's that called? Like a sketch comedy show at the time. And Jessica's top 10 was awesome. I love the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania 39 with Joe Woods. That was awesome. So shout out to her. That was fantastic.
And don't worry, Roger doesn't even tune in every week.
Well, that's
He's just here for the beer.
Eddie, I want to, with Jacob Roach, and you mentioned him, Jacob was our first guest on here. Me and Andy were on Barking Browns before this even started. And so I started reading Jacob on Dog Pound Daily. And I'd read them, and then you get to the bottom of the article, there's other writers. And one day I clicked on an article on a guy named Eddie, and I'm reading, I'm like, man, it's Sunday morning sports is a big thing for me. I'm used to back in the day, you get a newspaper, you can smell it, drinking your coffee. Sunday sports page was the best, man. Norm, Chad, and so Sunday mornings reading sports, you got into the rotation. And that was before I even got to Network 216. I became a fan of your writing. You don't pull any punches. You know what I mean? You tell it like it is. You're not a rah-rah guy, and I've loved you. And then we get it. Dawg Chug, joins 216, and I got to know you better in the chats. And it's a pleasure to meet you tonight. But I'm a big fan of your sports writing. I just want you to know that, man. I love it.
I appreciate that. I've been doing it now for 31? Those 13 years. I started in college at Clarion University.
Wow.
Kurt Angle, home of John Calipari. So I started there. I was covering the sports there, and writing for different websites and stuff. And then been doing it for a while. And then I was stuck. I was like, man, I need to do something. I need to find something where I can get paid for it. And then someone's like, hey, check out Fansided. And I was like, okay, sure. And I looked at it, applied, got it. And then, I got that. And then speaking of Jacob, he was writing for something, Couch Sports or something. And then he's like, hey, man, I've been thinking about applying. I was like, go apply. I'll put in the good word for you. I'll help you out. And, he's fantastic. And I love Jacob. So I'm just glad to be here tonight. This is awesome.
Nice.
Great, man. Awesome.
Have you? Someone in the chat was asking me a question. It sounds kind of like a Jacob question. He asks silly questions sometimes on Barking Browns. Could Jesus microwave a burrito so hot that he himself could not eat it?
Okay, so that's my best friend Tyler. Shout out to him. I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm coming on the show here in about 5 minutes or so. Could he microwave a burrito so hot that he himself could not eat it? I think Jesus Christ could eat any burrito in the world.
Yeah.
Is it too hot? Maybe not, but I'm gonna say he could eat that. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
What about the roof of his mouth? Like it's gonna be burnt. He's gonna burnt tongue.
Jesus, his mouth can handle.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, he's got like holy taste buds and stuff. It's just gonna be like not gonna be a problem.
No. Maybe we're gonna have to. Let's do an experiment. Let's do a dog.
His birthday's coming up. We can try this.
We'll get Jesus in here. We'll get a burrito and microwave, and we'll find out. We'll end it.
Right. He'd be a tough kid. He might be a tough kid.
I mean,
busy time of year for
if Network 216 gets 1,000 subscribers, I will nuke a burrito in the microwave, and I'll wear a Jesus costume.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say you have to wear the Jesus costume. If you don't,
and
then
eat it.
null and void. Null and void.
I want to ask one other question. Obviously, this is a very, very disappointing Brown season that we're having.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it turns around. It doesn't look like it's going to. But how do you handle talking Browns all the time, being on a podcast when your team is basically having a failing season?
So no matter what the Browns do, I'm always going to love them. It's a family affair. My dad has always been a Browns fan. I was not, when I was growing up, I was not always a Browns fan. Sadly, I started off as Steelers fan because I live in Steelers country. I'm about an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh. And then as I was getting to my own sports fandom, I was playing flag football for the first year, and I was on the Vikings. It was the same year Randy Moss got drafted. I saw that he got drafted. I was like, that's my guy right there. And I watched him, and he tore it up. So I was a Vikings fan for a while. And then so a year later, the Browns come back. My dad got me a bunch of Browns. He got me a Tim Couch jersey, a sweatsuit, a hat, and something else. And I was like, all right, cool. This is awesome. But
Was it Homage gear?
I'm still a Vikings fan. And then Randy Moss went away from the Vikings. And then, he went to do greater things with the Patriots. Sadly, couldn't win the Super Bowl. But then my grandfather grew up in Akron. So he was always a Browns fan. This would be my dad's stepdad. And he's always been a Browns fan. And he passed away in 2012. What year? I was 21. So, yeah, 2012. And then from that moment on, I was like, that's it. Browns it is. I don't care about anything else. It's the Browns. So no matter what they do, they're never going to hurt me enough where I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not a fan anymore. I'm jumping off the bandwagon. I'm doing this and that. I'm just going to, be a Browns fan. So I look at it from a different light. So I said earlier on the show that until the Browns have a 0% chance of making the playoffs, there's still hope. And I laid out this Sunday that it's going to be the Snow Bowl, 3 to 6 feet of snow, not inches, feet of snow could be there in Buffalo, whether it's snowing by the time game time rolls around or not. I think it favors the Browns. It's going to be a ground game, which obviously doesn't favor the Browns because they can't, guard the run to save themselves. Hopefully that gets fixed in the offseason. But I think it's going to be who has the better running back for the day, and that is obviously Nick Chubb in this matchup. Because I don't think if the wind's swirling, Josh Allen's not going to be able to slant like he does. And it's going to be who can force a turnover. Browns are like -9 and Bills are -1. Someone has to make a turnover. I think the Browns do. And I think now that Deshaun Watson is back in the building, not just in the building, he's back on the practice field. Not playing this week or next week, as we know. The week after that he is. But he's back there. The energy's different. You could just feel it all day. It was different. Everyone's like, all right, cool. And the Browns believe if they can get to 4 wins, whether that's this week or next week or more, 4 or 5 wins, they can give Deshaun Watson a chance to make the playoffs. And I think, and that's where my hope resides. Because once we get 4, it's a whole different team for the rest of our 10 years Browns fans.
I
Love it.
Eddie, I wanted to, in the past, you said in 2012 you were all in. You've seen enough bad football,
Yeah.
And the Cleveland Browns in their fucking act. It was easier when our best players was a left tackle, a kicker, and a kick returner. We knew we were bad, but we still loved the Cleveland Browns, and we went and we cheered and but this team in these last couple of years, there's so much talent. And I know a lot of the talent we've overrated,
Yes.
maybe because our belief in Andrew Berry. I think sometimes it's unfair. My question, why I'm so angry is because there's a talent there. When we were bad and we lost, it was like, oh, well, we still love the Browns. But when the talent's there, and it's just not working out, that's what frustrates me. And that's like I said in the green room before the show went on, where I'm just bitter this week. I couldn't come up with anything funny or, worthy of the Dawg Chug because I'm just angry.
Sure.
Because it sucks sitting there watching. I mean, I don't even care if I going to miss the Browns or, you know what I mean? It's like I don't look forward to Sunday right now.
So for me, I decided, I think at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, I forget which one it was, somewhere in the middle maybe. I'm not going to let the Browns dictate my mood because I deal with mental health issues and stuff. So I'm not going to let them do it. Like everything else in the world will bring me down or bring me up or whatever it is. I'm not going to let them ruin my mood because at the end of the day, I can't change. I can't change who they have on their team,
right.
Who they draft. I can't change any of that. So I'm just going to enjoy it while I can because a few years ago, we had no football. Like we had no sports for a while. We did have football. We did get the full football season, but we had no sports for a while. And that killed me. I was just like, what am I supposed to do? Like,
right.
What is this?
Pandemic, right? Everything shut down. Yeah.
Even WWE, they still went on, but there was in the pandemic era, in the Thunderdome era, they had a bunch of screens with like it looked like us, right?
nothing.
You know, it was just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this is good, but like, where's the crowd reaction? So I'm gonna just enjoy while we have it. Whether the Browns are good or not, that's irrelevant. Like, I'm just gonna enjoy the sport, and I'm gonna enjoy sports in general while we have it, because hopefully it doesn't happen again. But we can get shut down again. It's like, nope, there's nothing. So that's where I'm at with it. I mean, not everyone's the same way. You know, I've seen people say, "Oh, I'm done with the Browns because they got their ass whooped by the."
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Well, we watched 1-31. That's what we watched for 2 years.
Right.
We opened up crappy Bud Light fridges. Bud Light fridges, Bud Light of all things, which used to be the good beer. And then I got older and realized that no Light's superior. So but you know, so we celebrated one win in 2 seasons, and then you know we had allegedly the savior in the franchise in Baker Mayfield, and everyone's all excited. And then they really saw what he was. And now it's just like, all right, this season, I know a lot of us thought, you know, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 wins would do it for us with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback. But nope, it may be, you know, 4 or 5, hopefully, and then Deshaun Watson comes. This season was never about the 2022 season, sadly. It's about 2023 and beyond. Now, if we can make something happen in 2022, yeah, you're going to see me all over social media, Dog Pound Daily, Network 216. I'm going to be drinking my beer and cheering along. But other than that, like, I get the bitterness and I get the upsetness. Like, I allow myself to be upset for about an hour or two, and then I'm just like, all right. And then I watch the red zone and like, oh, wow, my fantasy team's doing good or bad. My fantasy team impacts me more than the Browns do these days. So I'm going to watch the Browns regardless.
I can buy into that, Eddie. I can buy into where 2022, because nobody's been fired. Normally, in any other NFL season, not just the Browns, any team, your defense with all that talent plays this bad, somebody's losing their job. And they're just cruising through 2020. And I can buy into it. I can believe that their sights are set on 2023 and beyond. They're hard to watch, man. At no point watching a game do I think they're going to win it.
The defense is hard to watch. The offense, I can watch them all day.
You're right. And there's people out there that want Kevin Stefanski give up play calling. That's the reason he has the damn job. And we're the 10th best scoring offense in it. It just doesn't make sense. So I can buy into your theory that they're like, whatever happens in 2022, the more the better. You know, but you know, we're looking forward.
But I'm not giving up hope for 2022 right now, because I think there's a 6% chance to make the playoffs.
We're still mathematically alive.
We're 2 games out of the last wild card spot. Well, technically 3 because New England holds it and they beat us. But we're only 2 games out of that. So 3-6 and they're 5-4. That's not.
The NFL's drunk this year anyway. It doesn't matter. Throw all your logic out the door.
Ross, the parody of the NFL is so fantastic as a fan of just the NFL, not just a specific team. The parody is so awesome. The Jets beat the Bills earlier this year. No one saw that coming. The Vikings were dead to rights last weekend against the Bills. All Josh Allen had to do is field that snap, lunge forward with his 6'4" frame, and they're done. He fumbled that. The Vikings scored. The Bills scored. Go to overtime. It was fantastic. I love it. I will never not be a fan of the NFL, even if my team sucks. Like our team has sucked for how long now? We've been in the league 22. Right. We've had 3 winning seasons. I'm going to watch the NFL regardless, and it's so much fun to watch the parody. The NFL is drunker than Andy was after that whatever concoction he made that night of 7.
Right. I have to make sure my wife doesn't know that I don't give a shit if the Browns win or lose on Sunday, because the honeydew list is tremendous. I want her to think I'm fully vested still. So I have to, whether I am or not, I have to continue to do that.
Right, but the people are like, oh, I'm done with the Browns because we just got our ass kicked by the Dolphins after beating the Bengals.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Well, the Dolphins beat everyone. Not everyone, but most people. They're supposed to. They're a good offense. They're a good football team. Like, it is
this season. They're unstoppable.
They are, and I think they have a legitimate chance of going to the Super Bowl, whether they do or not.
Give defensive coordinators an offseason to prepare for Tua and what they're doing on offense, and let's see if they can adjust. Yeah. And that's a true market. Kevin Stefanski, in all actuality, has been able to adjust because he's still putting points up on the board, and our offense is still scoring points.
If you had told me the offense was top 5 coming to the season before anything even happened, and we knew Deshaun suspension, if you had told me, hey, the Browns are going to have a top 5 offense in the NFL through their first 9 games, okay, cool. We're above 500. We're rolling with Deshaun coming back. Sign me up. The defense that everyone thought was going to carry us, and the offense has to be slightly better than last year. It's the opposite. It's the offense is carrying us, and the defense letting us down. And there's going to be major changes. I'm going to write about that for Dog Pound Daily sometime this week. So check that out. But there's a lot of changes coming in, and everyone wants to fire Joe Woods. The past 3 or 4 games, he's actually improved. It's just the team has not executed. The key word is execution for this team. And, so some of these like play calls for Kevin Stefanski on like 4th down, going for, oh, why is he going for it? Take the points. He's going to keep going for it. And if those plays are executed, everyone's like, oh, he's a genius. Look what he's doing with a backup quarterback. Okay, great. He's doing it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move it to where we can really talk some football and have some fun. Our epic game Spit, Sip, Chug. But first, Tyler did request if we could send some bad vibes Ed's way, because he needs a lot from him this week in fantasy in a big way. And absolutely, because Ed, I know Ed very well. He loves when people talk about him. So
I do.
Ed, I hope you get fucked this week, you asshole. But I'm talking about you, so I know you're going to appreciate this, and I love it.
Of course. I love it, and that's like I said, that's my best friend, and we were going tied, and like our teams have just both not been very good this year. And I run a league, and he's in it, and I've been doing this league for I don't know how long now, and we both just sucked. And last week he lost, and I won, and he's like, "Oh, I need you to lose this week," and I almost did, and I didn't. So he needs me to lose this week and him to win this week, and then things will shake up in the thing. So.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Ed from that is. I thought he was in the fantasy league. I am so confused.
He is in that fantasy league, but we don't talk about him.
Yes. Well,
he's sort of like Voldemort. Only I'll say Voldemort's name because I'm not scared of Voldemort. I won't say his name to give him things. That's a different topic for a different day. But he is in the Network 216 league. This Tyler is not in that league, but he is in my league.
Understood.
Okay.
So I was saying, fuck you, Ed, as in the guy that's out of network.
Oh, no. I'm glad that you said fuck you, Ed, to me, because he wanted that. That's what he wanted. He's the viewer. Viewers get what they want, and that's great. But a little known fact is the 2 times he's ever made the playoffs in my league, he's played me in the first round, and I've smacked the shit out of him. So there's that.
Oh, man.
So there's that, Ty. I'll see you soon, buddy.
He probably has some players playing the Browns or something, I assume. I don't know.
If you're playing in the playoffs this year, you have to give us an update. That'd be amazing.
I almost spit the beer out.
All right. So we're going to play Spit, Sip, Chug. This is very simple. I'm going to make a statement. If you strongly agree, you're going to chug. If you strongly disagree, you're going to spit. And if you're somewhere in the middle, you're going to pull a Roger and you're going to sip.
I got to grab a refill.
All right.
Sip. Yeah, I have to grab a refill too. I'll be right back with this.
All right.
Grab a beer.
Roger, how do you think it's going tonight?
What is that, Andy?
I'm sorry. I said, how do you think the show's going tonight?
I think the show's going splendidly.
Oh.
Actually, I think we're moving along nicely. Ed's been a great guest. Chuck is phenomenal. I love Chuck.
We're getting too smart. This show is a little too smart.
You know what's going to be a good. We got to find out what Chuck did during the pandemic. Eddie reminded me of that when all the sports was gone. I don't even. Poor Chuck, man. When baseball was closed down, I can't even think about it.
Poor Chuck.
Tyler says he's signing off. Enjoy the holidays. You as well, Tyler. Thank you.
I'll see you Saturday.
Tyler,
buddy.
thanks for joining us, man. Good luck against Eddie. I hope you win.
He doesn't play me this week, but
I hope
it'll
Eddie
be
loses his game for you, Tyler. How about that?
There we go.
For Tyler's sake, I hope you lose this weekend.
Andy, that's a great shirt, by the way.
Team Tyler this week, Dawg Chug is.
Yeah, I love Bernie. Okay, here's our first statement. This is really stupid. Right. I know we're all going to I know how we're all going to answer this one, but like I said, I got home a little late. Steelers will finish with a better record than the Cleveland Browns.
Might need another refill.
Roger, you're up.
I'm going to sip.
Okay.
What the?
I have no faith in the Cleveland Browns whatsoever. Ooh. And the Pittsburgh Steelers always end up fucking us somehow.
No,
So
no.
I'm sipping on it because who knows?
All
Who
right,
knows?
wow. Okay, Roger, I might have to kick you off the show, but Ed, why don't you give the actual answer that
Yes.
There's no way in hell they're finishing with a better record. I know they're the tie record right now, but we get a quarterback that we know is going to be here for the future. Kenny Pickett, I don't know. I hope he does well. Good, not against us. Actually, let me take that back. I don't hope he does well. I don't hope he does well. I want them to go through the same hell we've been through for the past
Right.
22 years. That's what I want. So what am I doing? Chugging for this because I disagree?
you're
No, you agree.
spitting?
Oh, never mind. I misheard the thing. So no, I'm just passing for this because they're not finishing with a better record. And then we're gonna smack them in what, week 18 we play them again?
We play.
Yeah, week 18 they play them last. Yep.
Okay,
No.
so you're claiming you're spitting, you're not actually going to spit. I got it.
Right. I can't spit beer out. That's just
You're not spitting your beer out. You're just spitting.
well, I can't spit in my house right now. Like,
All right. Well, I understand that. I have rules too, but
there we go.
it's a ridiculous question. Whoever made these questions is a fucking idiot. The Steelers will not finish with a better record than the Browns. We have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback. We have a better team. We kicked their ass when we played them. We're going to kick their ass again. We will have a better record than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
We have two quarterbacks better than their
All
quarterback.
right.
Exactly.
I'm chugging.
Oh,
What?
Boy.
Ross, wow, you're breaking my heart, man. You
Just
have a
kidding. I
dope
just want to
hoodie?
drink
Is
some
that
beer.
an
I'm
almond hoodie?
spitting.
Is that an almond
Fuck
hoodie?
the Steelers.
There we go. Is that an almond hoodie?
It's a great homage hoodie.
Yeah, I need that.
That's
That's
the
it.
retro style one.
That's a sick. I love retro everything. I love retro. I'm a nostalgia guy.
You gotta go with the hoodies and homage.
Hey.
It's everyone. They're so comfy.
You know, the thing about retro is that it's like new to me. It's like you guys, young people, look at like, oh, that's retro. And I'm like, what? That was like what we wore. You know what I mean? I still got some of it in the closet.
all right. We're moving on to statement number 2. We're going to start, Ed, with you this time. When Deshaun Watson returns to the field, the leadership of the Cleveland Browns will improve.
Chugging.
He is chugging.
Chugging.
That is a good chug. You can come on the show any.
Right. That's a great show.
Let me just say why that will improve, because already, like I said earlier, if you have been, and Zach and I talked about this earlier on our show at 7 o'clock, then you can catch it on YouTube whenever you want. The vibe was different today when you're scrolling through Brown's Twitter and you're looking at all of like the Jake Trotters, the Cameron Justice, the Mary Kay Cowitt, everyone else who you follow that does Browns news. The vibe was different. It was like there's optimism in the air, and I don't know if that's good or bad. But like I said, until there's 0% chance, I'm 100% on board for them making the playoffs.
All right. I struggle with this one a little bit because watching Deshaun Watson play for the Houston Texans, he didn't appear to be a great leader on that team, and they had a horrible coach, and they seem to have some issues going on. However, I am a big believer that you have to believe that someone is going to be able to make the plays, and the Browns Kobe is doing amazing. He's doing an unbelievable job. I can't believe how good he's doing. However, he is what he is, and Deshaun Watson is who he is, and I just kind of feel like the team will sort of believe in itself a lot more when they believe they have the guy that can take them to the promised land. So I think, yes, Bria will change a little bit when he is on the field. So I am going to chug and going to do this horrible choice because I have like 8 more of these in my fridge.
What is that?
It's Mountain Dew. It's alcoholic Mountain Dew.
I haven't seen those. See, in Pennsylvania, we're behind on everything alcoholic, so we don't ever see things like that. My buddy is a big Mountain Dew fan, so he tries all the different flavors. And I sent him a picture. I was like, dude, here's for you. He doesn't drink really. He doesn't like to drink as much. I'm like, here's for you, buddy. And it was the hard Mountain Dews. And he's like, where are those at? I was like, not near us.
On Sunday, I chugged 4 of them, and it was awful. So, whatever. Anyway, Rob.
I'm sipping. So what happens is, it's kind of like with Stefanski. When we're winning, our leadership is great, and when we're losing, our leadership is a problem. Like I guess what we're saying is we're updating at quarterback, so naturally we're going to win. But like with everything analytical, analytics work great, but you have to add the Browns factor to your equation, and your analytics are screwed when you multiply the Browns equation to it.
I'm so sick
So
of
I
it.
can't. Yeah, so like it's in the negative. So if he was on any other team, yeah, I would have chugged on this, but it's going to come down to winning, and I think he's less likely to win when he's on our team. And like what you were saying before, like did he really show any leadership on the Texans? I don't know. He's just a great player, but we're saying that will leadership improve? Yes, leadership improves when you're winning because everyone believes your message.
So let me counteract what you both just said right there real quick. Look at the team that he had in Houston in 2020 and look at the team he's inheriting with the Browns in 2022. Infinitely better. That Texans team sucked. Absolutely sucked from top to bottom. He was the fact that he was able to be like the top, like, I don't know how he finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever quarterback is amazing in its own right. It's just like,
but if you don't win, everyone says leadership sucks.
Yeah, but at the same time,
like
he
you say
help.
Leadership is good because he threw a bunch of passing yards. That doesn't say anything about leadership.
No, the leadership.
He's a good player.
The leadership there was no one else besides him there. You know, him and Brandon Cooks, and aged up, what's his face, David Johnson. Here at the Browns, he has, you know, a guy like, if he's struggling, Nick Chubb, you know, because Nick Chubb is going to get a lot more opportunities to have those big plays that we love him doing, because now Brissett is forced. Everyone's like, hey, Brissett beat us. Okay, and he opens up the lanes for Chubb. But then it's going to be like, oh, shit, I can't just be like, oh, I'm going to stack the box and Watson's not going to beat us. Okay, go ahead. You can do that if you want. So I think the leadership improved because you can just tell, like I said earlier, the vibe in Berea is just different right now. But I get exactly what both of you were saying. But I just wanted to counteract because
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right. Roger.
You know what? I'm going to.
Oh, classic.
Ah, boy.
Whoa.
No, not a classic. Oh.
He's chugging 11%.
Whoa. Merry Christmas.
Shit. All right, Rob, you're not working tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Oh. What
I
time
have I have a PTO day tomorrow.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Perfect.
So I'm chugging, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's one of them ridiculous stories of I used to play. I played on a flag football team, and we had a quarterback the year before. He was good. He came in the next year. Well, he broke his leg. We had a guy that came on the team that year that played wide receiver, but he's a better quarterback. And when we got together practicing, and we knew when that guy took over, even though the other quarterback was decent, we knew when this guy took over, he was just a notch above. And it just seemed like we played harder. We knew what he was capable of doing. We knew at the level he was capable of playing at. And it was probably one of the best seasons I ever had playing flag football. We used to play in tournaments and travel. But this guy just upped our level because of his talent level. You know, he was an ex-college athlete, and he was just a beast. And we knew when he took over playing quarterback that we were that much better. And it raised the whole team chemistry. And just from my flag football experience, and
all right,
that's what I'm
exactly
getting.
What it is in Berea right now. Exactly.
Woo! That's some tough beer, Andy. You'll enjoy it. I think you can do 4 of them.
We're gonna
Andy,
find
you
out.
ever had Matt L?
No.
Oh, you need to try it. Like, it's one of those beers that, like, it's a dangerous beer because it's so good and it goes down so smooth. And then after like 2 or 3, you're like, oh
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, is that something I could get at like Giant Eagle?
What?
Sure.
The Elf?
You can.
I got it at Acme, Giant Eagle, anywhere. Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
maybe I'll do this before the Bills game because I do not.
There
really,
we go.
Yeah,
That's what I want to hear.
I think I want to remember.
Yeah, man, Mad Elf. It's
No,
tasty.
you'll want to remember this Bills game. You'll remember this one.
It's got some cherry and honey. It goes down smooth, man. Nice.
It's a dangerous beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right, we're going to move on to statement number 3. I'm going to start this one. After a hot start, the Cavs have now lost 5 in a row. They are proving that they still have a lot of work to do before they're an elite team that can go deep in the playoffs. Look, I'm spitting on this one. They went on a West Coast trip. They struggled a little bit. It's a long season. Cavs are going to be great. They're going to continue to be great. They're going to get their act together. I'm not worried at all. Go Cavs. Ross.
I'm going to sit only because of one word you said.
Uh-oh.
In that statement, you had the word elite. And I think elite's reserved for like the top 2 teams in a conference. And unfortunately, because of this road trip and going on a losing streak, you couldn't just win one of them. You're not falling in the elite category. You're falling in playoff, hopefully top 6, so you don't have to do that stupid play-in tournament. But that's why I'm sipping on it because, yeah, you can't do that as an elite team. No matter what's going on, you can't lose 5 games in a row. And it's so early in the season. And, yeah, we can improve. I mean, you saw the Celtics last year. They were a very mediocre team until January, and then they figured everything out and made the finals. Hopefully that's the Cavs this year. But right now, no, we're not in the elite category.
All right. Roger.
I want to chug on it again, but that's impossible after I just chugged the first one. So
For your
I'm
this is like
going to
this
sip
is
on
a
it and
medical
give you.
Is that a medical decision?
Yes.
It is. It's a business decision,
There we
He's
go.
already
like some of the Browns players are making out there on plays. When I look at people losing their mind in November over an NBA game, I think about people losing their mind in June over a Guardians game. But what Ross said, when you lose 5 in a row, that's not good. We were already crowning Donovan Mitchell as an MVP candidate. When you have an MVP candidate on your team, they got to do something to stop the floodgates and losing 5 in a row. It's early in the NBA season. I really agree with everything Ross said. You want to get 6 seed or better. Half the NBA makes the playoffs. I think it's a little too early to lose our minds, but it is concerning.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, I'm a Lakers fan. We sucked this year. I know this. So you guys beat us up last week. But I'm going to sip this because of what Ross said, and I'm going to counteract something that Roger just said. So I'll sip real quick.
There you go.
So they're not elite yet. They have a chance to be elite.
Yeah.
And I said this earlier on the podcast, and I was going to come on the I Agree Go Cast podcast that Jacob Roach does on our network. Usually it's on Saturdays, and he does a couple things during the week if he can. Cavs fans did not know how good Donovan Mitchell actually was. They get him excited. Yeah. We got Donovan Mitchell. Sweet. I don't think a lot of Cavs fans knew how good he actually was. And then they see him in the first, however many games they lose their first one, win 6 or 7 in a row, and then he's just a beast, and he's been a beast. He's been a beast since college, and he's going to be a beast continuing. And something that you said, Roger, MVP candidates don't, they stop like the damage. Well, Kobe Bryant, my favorite athlete ever, he was on a lot of Lakers teams that just weren't that good around him. He kept doing his thing. He can only do so much. So Spider Mitchell can only do so much, and it's up to the other guys. The other night, Garland scored, what was it, 51?
Yeah.
So he scored 51, and that's encouraging because I saw a few people say, "Oh, trade Garland now." No, don't trade him. He's going to figure it out. Him and Mitchell are going to be an elite backcourt soon. I don't know how soon. Maybe within the next month or so, I'd say. But yeah, they're not going to be. I don't think they're going to be a top 2 seed in the East, but they're going to be anywhere from 3 to 5. I don't think they go to the 6. I think 3 to 5. So I think you guys are in good shape. I know 5 losses in a row isn't good. No one ever wants to see that. I've seen it a bunch with the Lakers over the past few years. But yeah, I think for sure they're going to be one of the top teams, but they're not elite yet.
I think Rubio plays a huge role in that too when he comes back, and I think that's going to make a major difference
with their second unit. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, we're going to move on to statement number 4. This should be a fun one. As far as what ails the defense this season, Joe Wood's scheme is a bigger issue than the defensive talent. Ross, we'll start with you.
I think I already did a rant on this on Dawg Chug, and I was in a way defending Joe Woods because the idea of our defense being talented is an idea. Yeah, you have awesome combine numbers, but it doesn't mean shit if you don't execute.
Correct. Execution.
And guess what? It's the same thing. Like there's people that score really well on the ACT and SAT, and then they get shit jobs and they're working at a grocery store. It's the same principle. And I think that's kind of what happened. It's unfortunate that we have to question Andrew Berry for some of this stuff, but that's just the way it is. And yeah, I forget. Is that a sip or a chug, or a spit or a chug?
So
I don't know. You're basically
it's about that part
better
of the
than
show
the
where you
talent.
forget what's going on.
Scheme is better than the talent, he said.
right.
The scheme, I would say so, yes, because I'm just seeing too many glaring mistakes. So it's the chug. And so it's like the John Johnson clips of him giving up, and the clips of our defensive tackles not winning any battles on the line. Like, it's just these things you see, and it's just, is it scheme when you're literally just doing man-to-man on the line and just
Right.
losing because you're just not talented? And
Right.
literally the worst defensive tackles in the league.
They are. And I said earlier that Tommy
I'm not like
Togi,
a super. I don't even review film, and I see these things happening.
I'm not a film
Just
guy
go down
either.
the middle.
I say it every time I'm on my podcast or I'm on someone else's podcast or I write. I'm not a film guy. Like if I can watch film, I know what I'm seeing a little bit. I don't know the schemes. I don't know the techniques. I don't know all this, fancy
Right.
jargon. But I can see like Tommy Togi. I'm sorry, he's not an NFL defensive tackle. He was great in college. Loved him at Ohio State, but he is not an NFL defensive tackle. So I'm gonna chug with you. Because, like I said earlier in the show, the past few weeks, and it's either start with the Ravens game. I think it started with the Ravens game. So the past 3 weeks, the Ravens game, the Bengals game, Dolphins game. Joe Woods schematically was good because Lamar Jackson was held in check. Mark Andrews had like one catch that game. And then Cincinnati, we just shut them down. And then last week, if you had told me going into the game that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill would combine for 9 catches, 110 yards, and a touchdown, all right, cool, we're winning that game. We didn't win that game. We shut them down, but then Mike McDaniel was like, you know what? All right, cool, take them away. Here's the running game. But, here's Tua also that's going to get the ball out in 2.5 seconds to anyone that's not Waddle and Hill. So, schematically, he's been fine. I don't think he is going to be here after the offseason. Excuse me. He's not going to be here after the offseason. But for now, there's no reason to fire him. The past 3 weeks, if they execute better, they win. That's it.
All right.
I think Rogers left.
I'm going to sip. I'm going to sip because I think they share equal blame. I think the talent level and I think the scheme. I think Joe Woods doesn't make – okay, you look at the Miami game, and Miami said, we're just going to run the ball. They have the running backs, I don't even know who the hell they are. Nobody does. They can't run the football. When they decided they were going to start running the football, he didn't adjust to it. But he did hold, 2 of the best wide receivers in the NFL today to what Eddie said, to the stats that they said. I don't think Joe Woods has the game like feel while he's calling plays on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm chugging. I think they share equal blame. I think it's part scheme and it's part talent, that they're not living up to their talent and that some of the talent's overrated.
You're chugging that you're.
No, I sipped. I don't know, Andy. They never correlate. It sounds like yeah.
I got you, Roger. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So for me, I'm equally pissed off at. I loved the game plan against the Ravens was amazing, and against the Bengals was incredible. And like you pointed out, we did sort of sweep the leg on what the Miami Dolphins do best. So I respect and appreciate that. However, I'm very irritated with our scheme majority of the games, and I'm equally irritated with players. However, I believe like everything kind of rolls down from the top and just doesn't feel like defensively there's the leadership coming down from the coaching staff. People just don't seem to know what's going on, whether that's the players or not. I'm not sure. I can't answer that question. However, I'm going to believe it's more about Joe Woods not being the guy. So
that's fair. Let me ask you real quick before.
Sure, yeah.
Was John Johnson wearing the green dot this week? Do you know?
I do not know that.
Because
I don't know if he was.
Jacob and I talked about that. Jake Roach and I talked about that. He wore the green dot against Cincinnati, and obviously the defense played, fairly well. Pretty good for the most part. And that's something we talked about. Is that thing like the ego thing, like where he has to be the green dot and one the communicating? So if he wasn't the one this week, I don't know why they changed it. And if he was this week, then our theory was just wrong. But I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
You know what? With John, a lot of people are saying when he was with the Rams, he was flying all over, he's making plays. And I think what we're seeing with Johnson, with the whole defensive backfield, actually, is they have Aaron Donald playing defensive tackle in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference compared to the defensive tackles we have making a push on the middle of the, or playing the run. I think that affects his play as safety a little bit.
Sure.
I'm not a John Johnson fan, but to your point with the green dot, last week you and Jacob talked about it. An hour later, I talked about it on air, and he seems to play better when he is running the show back there in the defensive backfield and making the calls. So,
yep.
All right. Well, we're going to move on to our final.
Yeah,
Ross, you started that. Okay, we're going to move on to our final question statement. Well, this is kind of a question, actually, so I wasn't wrong there. In your opinion, who has been the most surprising player on the Browns this season? I think we'll start with Roger, and we'll go around the horn, and after you make your answer, the other three will either chug or spit, depending on if they agree or disagree. Their answer is solid.
wow. Man, I can't even. Is it good? The most surprising. I'm going to have to say is the rookie Emerson,
Martin,
cornerback.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Emerson. He's been a big surprise this year. Ward hasn't done shit. He came back this week. He wasn't bad this week, but Emerson's a big surprise. So I'm chugging on Emerson.
Love it. Chugging.
I'm also chugging.
All right. Our work here is done.
All right, Ed.
For me, it's center Ethan Pocic. What's his name? Who went down in the preseason? I just had it, and then when I chugged, I forgot it.
The egg-looking guy.
Yeah. So he was supposed to take the place of whoever left last year, and then it was Pocic who they got. He played for Seattle for a few years, and he's played tremendously. He doesn't get the credit he deserves this year, so he's been fantastic this year for them. So I'm going to say him,
Good
and
call.
I think he earned himself a little extension with the Browns, honestly.
I'm going to chug on that. Good call.
Chris Hubbard? Is that it?
Huh?
No. Who?
No. Oh, no.
It wasn't James Hudson. It was
It was our
Chris
draft-
Hubbard. Hubbard was
Chris
the
Hubbard.
flex.
Was it Chris Hubbard?
No.
No, he was going to be the.
in like the 5th round, and whatever. I'll look it up in a minute. But I'm going to answer this one, and you know what? DPJ had such a disappointing season last year, where he was just kind of thrust into having to be the guy when he wasn't ready to be the guy after a very impressive rookie season. I love that he's having a great third season, making me believe that he is a guy we should invest in moving forward. I have his jersey. I love DPJ, so I'm so excited for him. He's having a great year. I don't know that it's like the most surprising guy, but he's who I'm going to go with, because I'm a big fan, and I think he's going to be a great player for us for a long time. I like the way he conducts himself. He seems like a really easy guy to root for.
I'm
chugging with you. It's not a surprise to me because I'm big house football, but I love DPJ, and I'm chugging on it. Beautiful.
Nick Harris was
Nick
there.
Harris.
We got thanks
Harris.
Alex in the
There's a
comments.
center,
for that
yeah.
one.
Third
But I'm going
round.
to sit that, and I'm going to tell you what. So his first season, he was okay. I hate when everyone's like, "Oh, Andrew Berry stole this guy in whatever round." Whatever round he does. He doesn't steal a bunch of guys. I think this might be one of Andrew Berry's biggest steals, actually, because in his first year he had 300-something yards, nearly doubled his production in the second year, and now he's on pace to do that again in this year. So he was going to be So coming into the season, we knew it was going to be Amari Cooper, and then who's going to be wide receiver 2, and then it was David Njoku was probably going to be wide receiver 2, and he was that until he got hurt. Excuse me, and then DPJ has been a fine like wide receiver 2 on the depth chart, and he's been making a bunch of great plays and stuff. So that's why I sip it. I think he's been doing fantastic.
You know what's funny about like I did my little take on the athleticism versus like executing thing. What's funny about DPJ is you drafted him for his athleticism, but he's actually been executing because he doesn't get crazy separation. He's sure-handed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the surprise. Like we drafted him not because he was sure-handed, but because he's tall, fast, athletic.
Right.
But he's actually getting tight. Oh, there's MC Laura saying exactly that. So yeah, people are seeing that, and that's you can't go wrong when someone doesn't drop.
Right. Do I have time to go to the bathroom real quick and come back?
What
All
baffles
right.
me? What baffles me is whenever a receiver becomes available, and you see it like I know somebody release it, every Browns fan on Twitter is like, want him. And we have a number 2, we have a number 1, we have a number 2 wide receiver, and even the rookie out of Purdue, right? Boston, what's his name?
Bell?
Yeah. I mean, our wide receiver core and our room is pretty good. Yeah. People just don't even pay attention to DPJ, and it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's why I wanted to give him a special shout out.
Right.
Ross, who's your most surprising player?
Well, you took my DPJ one because he's looking like
Yeah.
him getting to 1,000 yards is surprising to me. How you put it. I will say in the opposite direction, most surprising is John Johnson he was supposed to be this really good contract we got. He was going to make our defense better. And just so many clips of him just giving up. And it's just surprising that he's this guy that talks in press conferences, sounds smart, sounds like he knows what he's doing, yet he still makes the same mistake over and over again. It's like, I don't give a crap.
Well,
if you're what you're saying when you're not fixing your problems, I don't think any player is going to acknowledge they played like crap all the time. I mean, it's nice to hear, but I'm just sick of it.
so Ross had to go negative, so he took JJ third.
So I'm surprised how bad
He was.
JJ is.
He couldn't go Kobe Brissett, how amazing he was prior, to being a great quarterback. But it's fine. I'll chug.
I'm so mad about John Johnson because there was on Twitter, I saw before free agency started that last year, Mina Kimes of ESPN was like a perfect fit for the Browns this year. And this free agent is John Johnson the third. And I saw that and I was like, okay, first off, Mina knows football, so I want to trust her judgment. I looked into it a little bit. I was like, oh, he's perfect for us. Great. We get him. I was like, oh shit, yeah. And then we got Troy Hill, and I was like, oh sweet, we're good. No.
Nobody even had him on the radar because they thought there was no way the Rams were going to let this guy go.
That,
you know what I mean?
The fact that I don't think other teams really wanted him they weren't really that interested in him. And you can argue that all you want, but I don't think very many teams were because he didn't have very many offers. And if he did, then they weren't as lucrative as the Browns offer. The Browns offer was a little too high, but luckily they can get out of that this year. If they cut him before June 1st.
It's a short deal. The only thing we do is more guaranteed money.
Denver safety was the big name, because nobody even thought Johnson was going to be on the market.
Right.
All right. So Big Kevin Sports says, shout out to the Dawg Chug. Elbow cough. Browns win 34-30, just like in the 1989 AFC divisional rounds. Go Browns. Did Ed count?
I was in the womb.
I was born 91, so
it's only gonna. Anyway, we do love Big Kev. He's great.
Big Kev, yeah.
How many times? Like 15, 2, something like that. Anyway, all right. That was a lot of fun. We had some great Browns talk there.
Really good talk, man.
Now we're gonna go to our final bit. This is fun. The greatest pull. Ed, I hope you can come up with a game quickly. I usually send a message to prepare you, but I didn't do that. Sorry about that. But
no, I like being spontaneous. I like when it's like I don't know about things.
We're going to be very spontaneous. So the the five of us, we're actually going to bring on Sherry. Welcome
There-
to the Dawg Chug, Sherry.
She is.
Hello.
Sherry, I'm so sorry. You've been on the entire time. Just
That's
hang
okay.
out. I did
I
not
just
bring-
walked away for 1 second. I'm like, I know he's gonna say. As soon as I walk into the kitchen,
Wait, I didn't talk too much to prevent her from coming on. Did I?
We didn't have a homage ad for you to judge this week. I blew my wad last week with mine.
Oh,
I
that's-
ain't got nothing else in the tank.
So
I didn't talk too much for her not to come on, did I?
no, it's blame it all on Chuck. Chuck went on for 27 minutes.
Okay.
well,
Sorry, Chuck, but I'm blaming you.
All right, so here's the deal. We're all five of us are going to pick a college or NFL game against the spread. We're going to record all five. I'm going to put them in. We're in a little bit of a football pool, and in this week you are part of this football pool. If all five of us pick against spread correctly, we are going to win up to $1,700, depending on if there's any other winners. And we'll just split that, whatever portion of the 1,700 we get, I'm going to split it 5 ways between the five of us. So, because
Against
you,
the spread?
what's that?
Against the
Yeah,
spread?
with spreads. Yeah.
Okay, let me go.
And let's go over last week. So 2 weeks ago, we actually went 4-1, and a Bengals fan talked us out of the 5th win.
Yeah.
We would have actually won that week. Then we followed it up by going 0-5 the following week.
Beautiful.
If we had just picked against all of our picks, we would have won. This week we went 2-3, so we didn't do very good. I think
That 0.5 will get you.
Has there been a win yet this year of all five?
we've not.
No, we've
won.
had 3, 4, and 1.
We're gonna go 5-0 this week just because I'm on it.
All right. I love
All
that
right.
confidence. So if we're gonna go 5-0, it starts with you. Pick a winner.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Bears over the Falcons.
Damn it. That was my pick.
God.
That was everybody's pick.
All right.
Good pick, Ed. Good pick, man.
So Chicago is getting 3.5 points against the Atlanta Falcons.
I'm on the Justin Fields. Man, that kid can play some football. I'm a Michigan fan, and I still think Justin Fields is, yeah.
I didn't
Hey,
know
that's
he
a
was,
coach
I forgot he
figuring out
was
his
a Michigan
play. I'll
fan.
say that.
I wouldn't have come on the show if I would have known that prior, but no, I'm just kidding.
Where have you been, Ed?
I forgot, but I would have come on regardless. But a couple weeks of getting your ass kicked, just so you know.
All right. Well, in his defense, Michigan kicked Ohio State's ass last year.
Yeah, that's last year. We're talking about this year. And what happened to the previous 20 years before that, or whatever, however many it
20
was.
years before that, Ohio State kicked.
And we have the Heisman Trophy winner in Columbus this year. So
Roger, let me ask you a question. Are you feeling confident this year that you're going to be able to follow up your win? Or
Yeah, I feel really confident. I watched Ohio State's defense try to defend a run against Northwestern. I think Ohio State's got their hands full against Michigan. I don't get into the whole. I think Ohio State's got their hands full on the 26th. That's all I'm going to say.
okay.
All right. Well, we're going to find out. All right. Sherry, pick a game against the spread. You cannot take the Bears, but you can take the Browns.
but do I have to take the Browns?
Don't take the Browns.
You usually take the Browns.
I'm gonna go this week. I'm gonna go with the Giants over the Lions.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Now, let me ask you a question. Did a Bengals fan tell you to make that pick?
No, Bengals free.
Okay. All right.
Are the Giants favored or the Lions favored?
The Giants are favored by 3.5, so they got to win by more than a field goal.
Okay.
All right. Roger, we're going to go with you next.
Man, since this is Chicago's, I'm going to go with the Jets, Jets. And when I'm giving New England, I'm taking the Jets over New England, and I'm getting the 3 points.
Okay. I like that, actually.
Getting 3.5 points.
Well, give the 0.5 is in my favor this week then. All right.
Ross?
Give me the Washington Commanders over the Houston Texans.
I like that pick. I like that pick a lot.
That's a good bet.
That's a
Is
good
your
one.
spread -3? That's what I'm looking at.
You're giving 3.5.
Yeah. Okay, 3.5. Still,
So
I'll
they
still
went by
take it.
4 more. Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. Yeah.
All right, and then I've been having terrible luck with NFL, so I'm going back to college. I'm taking UCLA. They're playing USC. They're getting 1.5.
Ooh.
Okay.
But I think they're going to win straight up. So
Hey, I feel it. This is our week, Andy.
this is our week. We're going to
I
get.
think this is our week. These are some good bets we got.
I want to say last week 2 people won, so we could have split 1/3 of $1,700 had we won last week.
I thought there'd be no math involved on Dawg Chug.
All right. Well, everyone, send me your PayPals or your Venmos, whatever you want, because clearly we're going to win this week. And anyone watching tonight, you should go ahead and do a 5-team parlay with these 5 picks, and you'll win a fortune.
Bet responsibly though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Underdog Fantasy is good to go. Check them out too.
That's right.
Yeah, we love Underdog. We need to do an homage ad.
Let me talk about almonds real quick, and then you guys.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So I say every week on
Hold
my
on,
show.
hold on. Really quick. She reviews every homage ad read that we do, so she is going to grade you after you're
Okay,
done.
so I didn't know that, so now I'm gonna walk.
They're on the spot.
I say every week on the Petty Eddie podcast, 7 p.m. every Wednesday night on the network 216 YouTube channel. The softest, most comfortable shirt I've ever owned in my life. I'm not just saying that because we're partners with them. I swear to God, this is the most comfortable, relaxed shirt. So sometimes, like if you see me during the show, you'll see me like adjust it. That's only because I want you to see what it is. So right here, it's the Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett NFL Jam, paying homage to NBA Jam. For those of you who know what that is, if you're old enough, then you know. If you're not, please Google it. But just such a fantastic shirt, such a fantastic, brand of what they are. Also, tomorrow night, well, I guess tomorrow night. We're still, on this day, on Thursday night, November 17th, 6 p.m., the starter pullover jackets go on sale. The ones that Bill Belichick used to wear roaming the sidelines. Go check those out. We got confirmation.
Awesome.
We can plug that. We got confirmation before that that was coming down the pipeline for Thursday. Don't say anything until we tell you. We were told that. We tweeted it out, network_216 on Twitter. Go find the link. Less than 100 per team. They're all 32 teams are there. Less than 100 for each of them. So go check that out. 6 p.m. tomorrow. Make great Christmas gifts. Also, they have a lot of they call them pregame Black Friday deals every day up until Black Friday. They have a great deal. This one you won't be able to get on, but tomorrow there's another one. Check out network_216 on Twitter and check out the deal of the day and get yourself some Cavs gear, some Browns gear, Ohio State gear. If you're not a fan of any of those teams, Roger, you can get Michigan gear. Chuck can get his Guardians gear. He can have a meltdown when they trade player 55 on the roster or whatever.
Jones.
Homage, gotta love them. These shirts, I swear to God, they're the most softest shirts and the best fitting shirts I've ever had in my life.
Wow. All right, Jerry.
Wow. Okay.
First of all, explain your antacid rating.
Okay. It goes 0 being the best and 10 being the worst. I'm going to give you...
Right? Antacids.
Yeah, antacids. Yeah, like
Tums.
Having to take
exactly.
0 antacids is the best. Having to take 10 is the worst.
Yes. Okay, so I was pretty impressed how you were able to do that on the fly. However, I'm going to give you 4 antacids because whenever there's an obscure reference, that always throws me.
Okay.
Ask Roger.
I got Doc for bringing up Don Amici and Cocoon.
And the diabetes guy, what's his face? And you
Diabetes.
obscure references. I'm like, but no, that was really well done because you informed us of a lot of stuff that we didn't know about, like the Black Friday ahead of time stuff and the excitement of the Bill Belichick style pullover jacket. So that was
jacket before the hoodie.
Yeah.
And just in all fairness, she's tough, man. She's tough as nails, man.
I'll take a 4 for my.
I dragged my kids out in the driveway in the backyard last week, and she gave me. Yeah, she's tough.
When Andy said, "Hey, we're doing this," and I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I like spontaneous, and then he's like, "Hey, here's this. Go ahead."
You
All right,
will be
cool.
judged.
I know what the premise is. Cool, we're going off the cuff. Off the cuff, we're good.
I'm ready to bring in every week just to do our homage ad, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
can do
you're
that.
very good.
All right. I think what we need to do to close this show properly is, Roger, you should chug one more of those Mad Elf.
I actually switched to the 12 Dawg Christmas Ale. We'll close. I'll chug the rest of this.
Yeah, and the funny thing about that Angry Elf beer is it has a very deranged looking elf
Yes.
on the label, which was enticing to my beer drinking crew.
It kind of is.
Yeah,
It's a
look.
little deranged, but on Brown's Twitter, there's a couple deranged elves.
No,
The brownie elf to be one. So I'm going to chug the rest of this. I'm going to say go Browns. We're going to beat Buffalo. I hope it's a blizzard game, like Joe Jaravicious, pointing for a first down. Run
We
Nick
ain't
Chubb, and let's play in some snow.
I feel Nick Chubb could be a snowplow in his own right.
There you
Somebody
go.
just hand the man a
Right.
shovel.
Right.
All right. Well, Roger Chugs, thank you, Eddie, for coming on. This has been amazing. Sherry, thank you so much. Jess, for doing the top 10. Oh my gosh, she's doing it. Chuck, thank you for coming on and informing us and telling us your amazing story. It's been a great episode of Dawg Chug. Thank you, everyone. Roger, you're going to have to update on Twitter tomorrow how you're feeling, because
I will.
you're not going to be helping out around the house. Sick wife.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.